Hi everyone, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. I'm getting ready for my Design with Debbie class. Okay, I can see everybody's coming on. Hi Diane. So tonight, before I start with my card, I'm just going to go over a few things. So our Stampin' Up! Holiday catalog went live today for customers. Thanks to everybody that's placed orders already. I have a little special going on until September 15th. Anybody that places a $60 order, I'm going to send them a Swirls and Curls embossing folder as a thank you. Now this is the folder that I used on the background here on this card that I've showed quite a bit so far. And also, if you plan on placing a large order for Christmas as far as creating your Christmas cards, now is the time to do it. From September 1 to September 30th, any order of 250, and that can be by yourself or in combination with friends and family, you're going to get a special designer paper package, the Dashing Along designer paper. So that's another good thing about September. Okay, we're going to get started. I'm going to put the measurements all here. I did want to mention that when I circled what dies I was using from the large letters dies, I circled the O by mistake, and I think it was the N that I forgot to circle. So we need the N, the E, the L, and the O is actually replaced by the layering ovals circle. And I'll show you why once we get started. The stamp set that I'm using is Star of Light. I'm trying to pick stuff that you guys might have already because the new catalog just got here. So I know a lot of you guys don't have the new stuff yet. We're also using the Starlight Thinlits dies. And I'm using these two, the little snowflake shaped one. And then this adorable star-shaped one. Night of Navy is the ink. Night of Navy twine. And then for cardstock, we have Night of Navy 8 1/4 by 5. Soft sea foam 4 3/4 by 4 3/4. Whisper white 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then 2 pieces of designer paper, and those measure 4 3/4 by 1 1/2. Now that one is, let me take a peek, the Tranquil Textures designer paper. I forgot to write that down. We also need the Rose Glimmer paper. Look how pretty that is. And then a scrap piece of soft sea foam and a scrap piece of white. And lastly, you don't absolutely need this, but I'm going to show you a little trick with a window sheet. And this window sheet is about 1 1/2 inches wide, and it doesn't matter how long. So this is going to be my tip of the night. And the card I'm going to be creating is this one. Now this is called two things. It can be called a split panel because we have 2 panels that are joined with the Noel. And it can also be called a peekaboo card because you peek through all of the letters inside, and so it's peekaboo. Okay, so that's what we're going to create tonight. I'm going to leave this here just for a little bit longer so you guys can see and maybe write down the sizes. And I'm also using foam adhesive. So let me bring in my trimmer. And we're going to score at 5 inches. And then I'm going to turn this around to the smaller end and cut off 1 3/4 inches. So that's the 2 flaps. Next, we're going to fold. Now I'm going to work on the inside first so we can get that done. So let me flip that over for you. I'll tell you the reason I use this. If you notice in the designer paper, there is some pink in here. And then I'm going to add more. You'll see how I do that. Okay, so let me bring in my white piece. I just dropped. Now the stamp images, I'm just using the little star and then the big swirly. I love this big swirly. You can tell I used it a lot. It's quite stained. Now let me bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat. And we're just going to come in off of the sides. Now when I planned this, what I wanted is just the swirlies to peek out. I didn't want any of the sentiments. So I kept this way up top so it's hidden behind the panel. And then I left the white space at the bottom if people want to sign. So I did the larger side here. Now I'm going to turn it over and add one more small one. Oops, and I closed my card so you guys can't see. I'm going to try not to throw anything tonight. For those of you that joined me, whatever night it was that last night? Yeah, it was. I made 2 cards and I kept losing everything. I never did find the pine cone that I lost. Okay, now I'm going to add the sentiment way at the top. And then a few stars. And how I added color to the stars, I just used a blender pen and I used the ink lines to color, just to add a little bit of color. Okay, that's it for the inside. So let's glue that in place. Sandy, name of the stamp set. Okay, you must have come in late. I'm using the Star of Light. And I'm using the Starlight Thinlits dies. This is from last year's catalog. And it's still current. It was so popular that it carried over, and I was so happy that it carried over. Now that's going to be layered over the soft sea foam. Doesn't the soft sea foam and the Night of Navy look good together? I think because one is so bold and the other one is so light that they just complement each other. Okay, so that's my inside. Now I'm going to bring in my flap and my 2 designer papers. And then we're going to do the cutting, and I'll show you the little trick I was talking about. Trick or tip. Whoops, I almost did that on the wrong side. I'm gonna see if I can't not mess up tonight. Now the rest of this paper that I cut from only had the little bit of pink there. So what I did is I am bringing in my colored pencils. I've got the purple and the pink. And anywhere that I see white, I'm going to add more. I just need a little bit more of a splash of color, and I'm using both colors. And once that's, I used my aqua painter, it looks like it was part of the paper. We're just gonna spread that. See how well that blends in? It looks like it was meant to be there. Oh, that one was there already. That one's not gonna go anywhere. And I just kind of go left to right just to spread it. I'm not squeezing on the aqua painter. I'm just going with the water that's on the end of my brush. Okay, see how much prettier that is? And it's going to go well with the glimmer paper. Now, let me move this over so I can bring in the big shot. I'm going to go ahead and stamp one of the little stars because I need one. And then we'll cut the letters out first. So we've got the E and the N, the oval, and the L. And I usually go back and forth twice just to make sure on the glimmer paper because it is a little bit thicker. And then I'm going to cut out the little star shape. And lastly, the little star. And I probably will need washi tape on that one so it doesn't move on me because it's so small. Okay, so we've got the little star. And then let me punch out my bigger star. Isn't that pretty? I love these. And then we've got all 4 of the letters. Now, here's my little trick. I'm going to bring this in. So this is a window sheet. Let me line up my letters. And okay, I'm going to bring in my foam strips. And I'm just going to cut little tiny pieces. And I'm going to put one on the top and the bottom of each. So let me flip all of these over. Actually, I made these maybe a little too long. You're probably wondering what I'm going to do with this window sheet. So the worst part is adding all of these little strips of foam. Only a few more. And you have to make sure you add them all the way to the edge. Whoops, I got one more. Okay, now what I'm going to do is make sure my letters are all right side up. I'm just going to peel the one on the bottom. And then I'm going to use my grid paper. I'm going to go a couple squares above the bold line. And line that up. This is just a quick way of lining up your letters so they're nice and straight. Okay, let me straighten that out again. Now the O is just a tad longer, so it's going to be just a little below the line. The worst part is peeling all the backings off. Okay, now this one's going to go about there. And you also have to make sure you're not going wider than your strip of cardstock. Now let me trim this one just a little bit because it might be a little too long. Okay, so now these are all nice and straight, right? So what I'm going to do is bring the card in. let me peel the opposite end. Oh, I can't get this one. These are so small. Maybe I already got that one. It's nice and sticky. Okay, so what I'm going to do is place this and line it up and use a paper clip to hold it in place. And now I can center this. It's nice and straight because it's nice and straight on your window sheet. And then press down on the letters. So now all I need to do is peel them off of the window sheet and then press them in place. Remove this. And then you can always add a little one under the end here where it's sticking out. I think I did afterwards, but see how easy that was to glue nice and straight? Now I'm going to bring in the green snowflake. Now I should have gone over just a little bit. I wasn't paying attention this way, but that's okay. I can add a flower or something on that side to help it out. Now I'm gluing the star in the middle of the O. So this is the reason I didn't want to use the O from the lettering set, because there's nothing to glue it to in the middle. And then we're going to use a mini dimensional on the star. And that'll go in the center of the snowflake, or the star, the bigger star. And then we're going to do twice around the bottom and tie that into a bow. Whoops, I'm making a mess here. Don't go around your letters like I just did. And I totally lost that loop. Let me try that again. So all I need to do now is just add a little piece of foam under the first part of the N. Everything else is perfectly intact. And then I'll just move the twine up a little bit below. And that's it for the card. How quick is that? Now let me just use my bone folder to press this down so it's nice and flat. And then again, this is what the inside of the card looks like. So that's it for my tip. By using the window sheet, you're able to line everything up and it makes it easy to place it on your card front. So I hope you guys like that little tip. That's it for tonight, and I wanted to show you a little sneak peek of what I'm going to be working on Sunday. Sunday is my monthly Step It Up Sunday. I'm going to be making 3 cards, starting simple to medium to fabulous. This is my fabulous. I'm just going to show you a sneak peek. We've got some Glimmer, we've got some new papers, and a new stamp set. And this is the stamp set I'm going to be using. Great Joy. So I hope to see you guys on Sunday. I'll be on at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And again, thanks for those of you that have ordered today with the new catalog, the new holiday catalog going live. Thanks for stopping in, guys. And if you share my video, I will draw a name to win one of these cards. Thanks so much. Have a good night.